Well, I'm here with the outgoing CEO of the Australian Olympic Committee, Matt Carroll. Matt, you had some reflections at the AGM today. 8 years in one of Australian sport's most incredible jobs. You were reflecting on some of the challenges, some of the good times, and I just wanted to run through 10 quick questions.
Most
yeah,
certainly.
fair
No
enough.
problem.
Okay,
Sounds good to me.
All right. First one, best games.
Paris.
Why?
Well, nothing against Tokyo, but I never actually went to Tokyo Games because we had half the team back after the first week. And I said to my team and the chef de mission, who was Ian Chesterman, you guys look after the away team and I'll look after the home team. We had to get people back, or people had to get our athletes and sport officials back from Tokyo through that quagmire of immigration, of quarantine, and that's so. From a Summer Games point of view, it has to be Paris. I enjoyed the Winter Games too. The first one was great, but Paris was pretty special.
Yeah, it was. So then my next question, worst games. I guess you've already answered it. And not because of the games themselves, but as in, challenges and what you had to go through.
Well, actually, no, I wouldn't say worst games because yes, it was challenging and all the things you just mentioned, but we succeeded in getting over 1,000 Australians to Tokyo. All the athletes competed. They won medals. Some did their personal best. Some just did their highest standard they've achieved, and got them all home safely and back through quarantine. So, it's yes. Because I wasn't there, it's a bit hard to get a comparison of the two games. But from the point of view of achievement, equally it's the same with Paris.
Now, I know you owe a debt of gratitude and loyalty to all of the sports that are Olympic sports, and even some of those that aren't, that benefit from the Australian Olympic team doing so well and highlighting sport in the mind of the public. But, best sport?
No, I enjoyed all the sport. And when I saw sports, I would never have actually been able to sit down and watch. I was talking about before in Beijing, our curling team. And I didn't know anything about curling. I'd never watched it in my life. And so I sat down, happened to sit next to one of our senior officials from Australia, who's also World Curling, and said, right, please explain. How's this work? So I've enjoyed those. Of course I enjoyed the rugby sevens, in Paris. That was fantastic. But, there's a swimming there. Being at the Stade de France for the athletics when we won the high jumps and did well in the discus, and they're all great moments. And then watching the snowboard cross, watching the snowboarding through the pipe, also equally as exciting. A bit of sailing along the way as well. Rowing, I like them all.
Is there one sport or discipline you'd be happy not to see again?
No. No, they're all. I'm not a person who's followed, say, equestrian, but the Palace of Versailles, watching equestrian, cheering on our athletes and cheering on other athletes from around the world, hey, it's just special. You can't ask for much more.
Best friend throughout?
Best friend? Well, my wife's always my best friend, but she has to put up with me. I've been fortunate that the people I've worked with, as I said today in my final address on the AGM, I've called the senior management team, the staff, good friends. I've enjoyed the relationship with Mr. Coates when he was president, and Ian Chesterman as president as well. So, and the same with the whole executive. Particularly enjoyed, I'd call it friendship with the Athletes Commission, the couple of chairs that have come through whilst I've been there, and obviously with the Indigenous Advisory Committee. Patrick Johnson, a good person, very enjoyable to have a conversation with, same. In fact, the same with the CEOs of sports. That's just Matt Carroll. I try not to not have friends.
Well, this isn't one of the 10 questions, but I've got to say, have you considered a role in politics or diplomacy?
Well, I've often used the line that sport invented politics, just wasn't very good at it.
Totally. I totally agree. No, they're pretty good at it. Some are pretty good at it. Yeah, John Coates is pretty good at it.
Yeah, John is good at it. Sometimes he sort of goes a bit too far one way, but anyway, that's okay. We used to have interesting conversations occasionally, but look, I go into politics. No.
So what do you think has been the biggest lesson learned from a lifetime in sport? Is there one thing that stands out? I mean, times change so quickly, it demands different things at different times, but what do you think is the overriding thing you'll take away?
Look, I think sport, and I've always said this, sport is about people. Hence, going back to your question about politics, sport is about people, so it's passion. I've always said the job of a sports manager, sports administrator, is about creating opportunity. So you've got to create opportunity for your athletes, your players, your sponsors, your fans, your families. They're all important. But it's about that engaging with people and basically getting them together, as I often also say, to get stuff done. That's my builder in me. That's what it's about. And I guess I've learnt that over the years, and I've got better at getting stuff done by getting people to come along for the ride. It's the same as building a project. You've got to get a whole lot of people together to put a building up. You've got to get a whole lot of people to put a sport together. You've got a whole lot of people to work together, get through some of the little anxieties that people get, because it's a passion. And once you sort of cut through that and get on with the job, that's what I enjoy doing, and that's what it's about.
What are you looking forward to in 2032?
In 2032, I'll be choosing which sport I go along. It was my favourite sport to watch. No, look, I think it'll be a great games. I think got a few things to sort out, absolutely, but it'll be a great games. Australia is really good at putting on major sporting events. I was fortunate enough to be the general manager of Rugby World Cup 2003, and what we got out of how we did that so well was because the people who'd done Sydney 2000. And there's people from Sydney 2000, from Rugby World Cup, they were working in Paris. So the world still respects Australia as an organiser of major sporting events, and I've got no doubt when they light the flame in 2032, we'll be ready.
What are you looking forward to tomorrow?
Tomorrow, one of the great things about it is I can get up and I don't have to be anywhere. That's what most of it. Well, the phone won't be quite clear of emails yet. There's 2 more weeks of that. But I mean, that's always a thing. You just don't have to be at a function, don't have to be somewhere, and just take time out.
What are you going to miss?
My wife said, Pyrrha keeps saying that to me. What am I going to miss? You'll miss all this. I said, well, it's not just for the Olympics, but I've done it for decades before that. In rugby and in football, and sailing, and I guess I'll have to let you know, because at the moment I'm just really relaxed. As I said to the meeting, in sport, timing is everything, and now is the right time.
I've got to ask you this as a final question. How is it that you've always kept a sunny disposition, Matt? Because seriously, some of the challenges you do face as a sports administrator, some of the pressures you face from those above and around you, some of the internal pressures from sports, because some are haves and some are have-nots, and they all apply different kinds of pressure for different reasons. And look, I've got to be honest, I've also known you as a parent, as a father, a co-parent of basketballers on a school team, so we used to chat sometimes. Indeed. On the sideline of the basketball court. But you have managed that in a way that I think very few people have, and you're still smiling.
Well, my mother always said, patience is a virtue, and I think in sport you've got to be patient, and there's always a way through things. People get concerned about a problem or an issue, or they think that there's a crisis. Well, actually there's not. There is a way through, and at the end of the day, most importantly, remember, it's still only sport. Like, it's not everything in the world. I know sport's important. I've been doing that for decades, but let's always keep perspective. And I think if you keep perspective, you can always end up putting a smile on your face.
So perspective and pragmatism.
And pragmatism, yeah. As I said before, getting stuff done. That's there's no point whinging or complaining or having a crisis about it. Let's just, there's a problem. Let's get stuff done and let's get it fixed. We had that little couple of issues in Paris. Over the couple of athletes who decided to do other things, and I said to Anna, "It's fine, we can fix that. Yeah, we're done. Let's just get on with it. It's not going to change the rest of the team. Let's just fix it."
So your advice, and this wasn't one of the 10 questions because I think I've asked you about 20 by now,
but
your advice to those looking at getting into sports governance, potentially a role like yours.
Well, look, I think as I said, sport is about people. So unless well, I shouldn't say unless, you need to be able to engage with people, and people from all different spectrums, all different associations. Some may get angry with you, some may not. You've got to pull those people together if it's for a sport or it's for an organisation like the AOC. You've got to get them all working in the same direction and on the same page. And as I say, what you've got to do is create opportunity. That's the job of a sports administrator. Opportunity for your athletes, sponsors, fans. They're the things that make a difference, and that's what you're there to do. And as I said, get stuff done.
Matt Carroll, good job. Well
Thank
done.
you.
Congratulations. Enjoy whatever's next.
We'll see what happens. Thanks, Rosie.